there, it's Sam. Welcome to my training vlog. I'm an active duty Navy senior chief and a powerlifter, and I am 5 weeks out from my next powerlifting competition. To start off, I'll go ahead and say that I am in only a marginally better position than I was last week. The reason being I had another full-on work week, and this time in a classroom environment, in a contained environment where I can't be walking around very much and doing very many things. So I really had a lot of a repeat from the week before with only minor improvements. Those minor improvements were my sleep, which was actually really interesting, and I'll talk about it later, and my training habits. I got 5 workouts last week, as I should be doing. I got them all in regardless of my work schedule. So I proved to myself that I can make it work. It kind of sucks. There's like not a lot of life in between those things. So the things that I didn't accomplish, I didn't get my 10,000 steps every day. I missed it by 1 day. And that was just like a pure lapse of judgment. I decided not to do finisher cardio after a workout, and I paid for that because I didn't do anything else the rest of the night. I slipped my mind. So steps, I didn't stick to a meal plan, I didn't log my food, and I didn't drink enough water. One of the reasons with water is like when you're in a classroom environment, you don't want to keep disrupting the class to get up. And food, I was consistent with my lunches every day, but then I didn't have a plan for dinners. So I would end up just having shakes instead when I came home, which actually kind of worked out. And that working out has kind of shifted my mindset, at least for the rest of October. And then I'm not sure what I'll do for December. But I think I'm gonna accept that I'm not in a great place to be tracking right now mentally, and see what I can do to still see progress, but maybe not in a conventional way. Like I'm thinking about carnivore maybe. Maybe carnivore, or maybe just eating one primary meal a day and supplementing the rest of the day with protein shakes. I could maybe do that. But which meal? Like lunch? Or dinner? Or what about lunches at work? I don't know. My lunches at home are awesome. I love my home lunches. They're beautiful. But not at work. So I don't know. I got a lot to think about. Alright, training-wise, we saw some good stuff. At the beginning of the week, last week, I hit a deadlift PR that I wasn't expecting. My deadlift hasn't been, and maybe this is why I'm PRing, because I'm well rested, but I haven't been training deadlift very consistently in previous months, and I don't love some of the hypertrophy deadlift replacements that the app has been giving me, the Juggernaut app. It gives you these suggested workouts and focuses based on the weaknesses that you report. So if I report that I'm having trouble with my lockout, it gives me lifts that are supposed to strengthen my lockout. But for me, one of my complaints is that it does that in lieu of just a standard movement, whatever your competition movement is. So if I have problems with the lockout and it gives me block pulls for deadlift, well, I don't have any more regular deadlifts in my programming then. I only have the block pulls. And a lot of it has to do with how many days a week you're going to pick, how far out you are from competition. There's a lot of variables that went into this app. It's very well done by a lot of smart people, way smarter than me. But as an end user with my limitations for what I've put in there, it's a little frustrating that this is what it automatically puts out. So if I want to follow it truthfully, I'm not practicing my actual competition lift the whole block, which leads to me not necessarily progressing as I think I should. Maybe. But I just PR'd, so maybe that's not true. 335 for 2 reps, which is a PR. Doesn't sound like much. But I haven't tested things between my 1 rep absolute max and things like 5 reps, 4 reps. There hasn't been a lot of testing in this region, so it's a lot of new territory to explore. And even those reps, it felt like a 9 out of 10 RPE, not like it wasn't as hard as it should have been, but I got scared and I didn't put anything more on the bar, so meh. I probably could have got another rep at least. I'm really happy about this one. that deadlift PR is the only bit of good news that I've really seen. The other thing, deadlift is offset in my app calendar and my app sequence of events, and for good reason, because it's very taxing. So I usually have a deadlift PR attempt a week or so before my bench and squat PR attempts. So the bench and squat, I am in the part of my phase where I need to be matching my current PR, which is not how the program dictated me. It's something that I'm doing kind of on my own to make sure that I'm progressing, because the way the program is working right now, 3 weeks, okay, so like week 3, it may have given me a RPE 7 or 8 attempt, right? And then week 2, it would give me like a rest set. So like a lower RPE 7, RPE 6 set of lifts for volume. And then week 1, which would be you ramping up, week 1 right now, it would give me my max out attempt. But I just can't, it's not really working for me right now. I need to ramp up steadily. So in week 2, I need to be at a heavy weight so that week 3, I'm ready. I'm ready for that next thing. And that's just not how I'm utilizing the program right now. I'm sure there's inputs that I could provide that would change it. In any case, I went ahead and tried to match my current PRs for squat and for bench, and neither of them went great. Squat, this is a consequence of my schedule this week. I ended up doing it pretty late in the evening, and I was kind of tired and over it for my work day. That's a lot of excuses, but so on the day, squat felt horrible, which sucks. The week before, when I had squat, it was 10 pounds below what was going to be the attempt this week, and it felt okay. Not great, but I felt strong enough. I felt stable. This week, warming up to the weight that I was going to take, which would be matching my current PR, I did not feel great. I didn't feel comfortable under the bar. I didn't feel confident. I felt shaky. I ended up not doing the 3 reps that I would need to match my current PR. So the current record I have for 3 is 240. I misspoke in my last video. It's not 245, it's 240. So 245 is all I need to PR. So I put on 240 on the bar, and I squeezed out 2 reps. 2 reps that felt super sketchy. And that's what we got. And when I watched the video back, the first rep doesn't even look like it's to depth. The second rep looks like depth. But I ended up not pushing for a third. So I want to blame fatigue. I want to blame malnutrition, but another thing could be undertraining. Right now on my program, I have it set for 5 lifting days a week. 2 of those days are supposed to be squat days. But because I'm subbing in a cardio focus day, which is Orange Theory almost always have something to smoke your legs. They've got squats, bodyweight squats, goblet squats, split squats, lunges. There's always some kind of crap like that. And you set your weight. So my logic was, I'm already going to be doing a quad focus movement or hamstring. I'm gonna hit my legs in Orange Theory with dumbbells. I need to take it seriously. This does not replace a barbell movement. Let's be real. This doesn't replace a barbell movement. And when my program says you've got 2 squat days, I should be hitting that squat for real twice a week, and I haven't been. So, man, but I get super sore. I get so sore. It's so easy to smoke my legs and my back. So I feel this like self-preservation voice in the back of my head too. So it's so hard to say whether my lack of progress or how I was feeling in training this week had to do with my lack of training, lack of focus training, or nutrition, sleep, rest, like the time of day. Or has it been undertraining? Have I been undertraining my legs, and that's why I'm not progressing how I need to be versus earlier in the year when I was super consistent. And earlier in the year, I gotta say, I don't think I was squatting twice a week either, but I was doing 2 Orange Theory sessions, and I was taking the gym itself more seriously. And in hypertrophy, my deadlift day usually has some more serious quad stuff going on. Right now, my deadlift day has only 3 lifts, so if I don't choose to do more, I'm not doing more. But in hypertrophy, I had deadlift, quads, it's like the whole back chain, and maybe even a glute item. Now I only have deadlift, hamstrings, and the low back chain. I think that's it. That's all I got. So if I don't sub in stuff myself, I'm not hitting quads again during my deadlift day, except for the whatever's, used during the movement itself. So is it undertraining? Is it nutrition? Is it both? Probably all of the above. I just suck. I didn't take this year seriously enough. Anyway, rant secured on legs. Let's just say that I have one more chance to get this right. Like I said, I did 240 for 2, which was 1 rep shy of my current rep max. So I could go conservative in my attempt this coming week, and I can do 245 and still claim a 5-pound PR if I can hit it 3 times. Or maybe just try that 240 for 3 again and make sure that I am still able to achieve that. But I would like 245. I think it can happen. So we're going to try that. Bench. Bench is complicated. Bench is the one lift that I have not let slide. So even in my inconsistent phases, I'm still benching twice a week. And the bench alternatives are still heavily bench movements. There's, they all contribute. They all help. So bench, the current rep max is 180, and I hit that this week, not comfortably. I had lift off of my butt at the 2nd or 3rd rep, and that's not sat for a competition style lift, which this is just training towards that, but it's all something to think about. But for reps, that's not really a factor, but I got 180 for 3, and it was tough. It did not feel great. I feel like earlier this year, at a heavier body weight, I was feeling a lot more confident under 180 and even 185 than I am right now. So the caveat is that in September, I got 185 for 2 and almost put up a 3rd rep, but I struggled and ended up having to get saved. I did lift the bar off myself, and I'm doing it right now in training, so it's possible that fatigued me beyond I could have put up that 3rd rep if somebody had lifted the bar off. But this is a reality of solo training while my husband's away, and I don't like bugging people in the gym. I'm there to do what I'm there to do. They're there to work as well. I'm just not trying to have a ton of interaction, except for like 1 or 2 gym friends that I have who were not there. And one of the gym friends gave me a really bad lift off one time, so now I don't want to ask her again. So, that's not... I need to be able to do it by myself. I just need to be strong enough to do it by myself and no excuses. So for bench, I accomplished what needed to be accomplished per my ramping up ideas. That 180 for 3 is already a match for any PR set earlier in the year. So in order to PR it this week for a 10 out of 10 effort, which that already was kind of close, it would be 185 again. Me and the dreaded 185 rematch 1 month after I failed it already. I don't know if my protein intake, my nutrition since then has been good enough to give me what I need, or my training has been good enough to give me a little bit more juice, but we'll see. It's gonna be another 185 attempt. Maybe I can get a lift off and scrounge that remaining strength, but then that's not really a true retest, is it? I need to lift it off myself and fail it or don't for the true retest. But I kind of hate that, so I don't know. But that is where training is. This week I'm coming into maxes. I need to max out my squat for reps and max out my bench for reps and use these estimates to see how peaking is gonna go. The only other thing to talk about, changes wise and how things have been going, has been sleep. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a significant change in my sleep pattern. So for a long time, I have been taking the supplement combination called ZMA, zinc, magnesium, other stuff probably. I used to take ZMA from Animal, the brand, / Universal Nutrition, that umbrella. They used to have one, but they stopped making it, and I found a generic brand, and I mean super generic brand, on Amazon. But I wasn't having a great time with it. Like, I was still waking up. I'm not sure if it was working, really. So this time, when I ran out, I decided to order something like slightly less generic, maybe from a better star rating brand on Amazon. And that was the Now supplements. And I don't know that much about them. I haven't researched them that much. I just know that they make a bunch of stuff. And it had a good rating on Amazon, so I went with it. And immediate difference. Like, I'm blown away. Immediate difference in my sleep. This past week, I'm always tossing and turning. I always wake up. I get hot in the night. I'll get uncomfortable, and it takes some time for me to readjust and go back to sleep. Not this past week. Once I fell asleep, which remains a challenge, and it's why I take some of the other stuff that I take. I have my own little pill combination that I've made. It has to do with pain relief and stuff that actually help me settle in and quit moving and actually go to sleep. But once I'm asleep, man, I have not woken up, and my sleep was awesome. Like, rating wise, stats wise, my sleep was great this last week. And there's one other supplement adjustment that I've made, but during my daytime supplements, that could possibly be contributing. But right now, I gotta say it's the CMA. It's gotta be that. So I'm taking 2 to 3 pills at night, but a big difference made. Big difference. And I did feel more rested. So coming into this next week of training and food and stuff, like I said, I think I'm going to switch to 1 primary meal a day. The problem with something like that is protein absorption. You need to be getting protein all day and absorbing throughout the day for better muscle related stuff. So I will still be having shakes, and I'm wanting to integrate more whole proteins, but as far as like a meal with actual substance to it, I think I'm gonna limit it to like once a day, and we'll see if I can manage that a little bit better with my time. I don't know that I will. The other thing is water. Desperately need to increase water. But my work schedule's going back to normal, so things are more in my control. I need to fix myself. Again, we know this. That's it for this update. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking up on me. I am not any lighter than I was last week. We are making baby steps towards some better lifts in the gym. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll have some PRs to report on next time you see me. Thanks for tuning in.